back. What's good, Kenny?
What's up? What's up? What's up? How you?
I'm good, man. How are you, bro?
Pretty good. Pretty good. It's Friday. A lot of fair on the show. We covered the debate this past Tuesday. That was quite interesting. Uh, yeah, that's what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, the
Oh,
debate was a slam dunk for Kamala Harris. He dropped the what's the people's elbow on his face
the people's
on
elbow.
Trump's face. The people's elbow. he he definitely smells what she's cooking now.
Okay, and we'll see. I heard that he may not want to have another debate. I haven't confirmed that, but that was one of the things that I kind of seen came across my timeline of information that I
Well, it
get on my
seems to
phone.
be true. I saw it on CNN and also checked it on Fox News. And yeah, he's punked out of the next debate because he got his ass kicked so, like, literally. I mean, I think that was the most effective debate I've ever watched. She waxed the floor with his ass. And he's so petty and whiny. And the weird thing is, too, so he's complaining. He said he wants to, the ABC broadcasters should get fired, even though he said he won the debate. How can you say they should be fired when you say you run the debate? You know?
I have not a clue and no idea, but it is what it is, and we'll see how that's all going to unfold. But if y'all didn't know, D was out sick last week, and so some of the show stuff we're going to recap with it and everything. But one of the things we wanted to talk about was the upcoming season of Silo season two. Um, we watched season one. We used to do videos on season one.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. Those videos actually did well, so I was pleased with that. So what are you thinking on this? I'm going to start with this opening as in we see the trailer. Do you think it's worth it? I'm asking you the real question up front.
Yeah, well, remember when we were watching the shows previously, I felt like the way it ended, we didn't necessarily need another season. There's very few shows like in Europe. A lot of those TV shows are one season shows. They
Hmm.
they they tell the whole story in the first season, and they don't really do another season. There's not two or three seasons. I mean, The Office was a different sample, but for instance, with this show, I thought they did such a good job with it, and I only felt like you could mess it up by adding another season. Now, I mean, of course, I'm excited for the next season because I like
Okay.
the characters in it. I enjoyed the show. I don't know what's next. Like, what happens on the outside? What's that experience? Remember, she had to leave. They forced her out, and when she went outside, she didn't die.
Yeah.
So that means her husband's out there somewhere. And that means all the people they forced out are out there somewhere. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. And then what's the conflict between the people who are outside and the people who are inside?
Well, remember my
My
theory
biggest thing
was
was is my biggest conflict is this though. The people who are living inside are fine with living inside. There, of course, are people inside who are asking to go outside, but it doesn't really seem to be any real conflict. Once you're outside, and if there's a group of people living outside, you'll be fine out there. And with the people who are inside the silo, they will continue existing because they've existed inside the silo for where it seems to be generations. So
yeah.
that
I
was
think they
why I
feel
was
like
saying I don't know if they need another season because it's kind of like in any group of people when they separate. The only conflict is trying to force the people who are inside a certain area who are fine being there to all of a sudden, accommodate you or for you to get back in. And I don't think she wants to get back in there. There's nothing in there that she wants. They killed the dude she was in love with, so why would she go back?
I think she wants to go back potentially to probably spread the truth of no, you can survive out here, but that's one of the things. But I remember in the ending, I said, I think all those other little mounds that we saw, I think they're probably other silos.
Well, there are.
My only,
Well, they said that. I mean, well, they didn't say it, but we can all assume that there
yeah,
are
yeah,
lots of silos out there and they are their own groups. And maybe that one time they all intermingled, but at some point, this
infiltration.
particular silo closed its doors and became its own isolated area.
Yeah, well, See, I don't know. I don't because remember my theory too was the people at the very top they probably talk to the other people in other silos, but those are all theories. I don't know. I think I'm probably going to try to see I mean it airs on the 15th of November. I'm probably going to give it a try to see if I really want to go back down that hole of the show because I do take your point where the show kind of did end in just a well enough way that I could be satisfied with one season.
Yeah,
But I kind of do have my little curiosity to say what else was going on because it really won't add nothing more to the story. It'll just really start a new story over. And there's one part that could be very interesting because maybe they did learn from certain plot holes and stuff that they left in season one that they're going to bump it up a little bit more to make it more of a fulfilling TV show. Because I remember it started off good for us, then
mm-hmm.
in the middle it kind of waned a bit. Then it had like one or two when they did to do some certain new characters, and then it kind of coasted to the end. That's the only thing I really remember off of it. But I don't know. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to watch the first two episodes, and we'll discuss them, and then we'll decide if we want to try to do like
Yeah, yeah,
actual
absolutely.
breakdown videos of it. If because I'm telling you, if I'm like, nah, this is just not going to catch me, and I don't want to have to struggle like in season one, the middle part. The middle part of season one was a struggle. I don't know if you recall that, but me and you both were kind of like, yeah, where are they? What is this about? Where are they going? And all the
I
flashbacks.
don't want to say it was a struggle, but I will say that maybe it could have been less episodes.
Well, because remember it's like they. I remember our big grief in the beginning was all the flashbacks. It's like, well, why didn't y'all
Yeah,
just
but
start
yeah,
with
you
that
know
part?
what? That was one of the biggest problems of the show. I will say that was one of the problems of the show. It was the jumping back and forth. And
Yes.
remember what I kept saying is if you're going to tell a story, tell it from the very beginning to the end. And so many times we would start at one point and then we would jump back to the
Way
past.
back, yeah.
And
And
then
that was
it was just so hard to follow it. And yeah, I hope that they don't do that to us again because I can't handle that.
and that's the
Just
one
tell
thing
the
that I'm
story from the beginning. Because I think if they had done that with this story, I think it would still have been good. It may
mhm.
be been even better. And then I would have been waiting for another season. I think because it jumped back and forth so much, when we finally got to the end, I was like, all right, this is good enough. Like I can
Yeah,
you can only make it worse.
yeah,
You're
and that's
absolutely right.
that's the take up. But I am on the 15th of November. I'm going to try to catch the first episode to see to fill it out and give my opinion. Like, okay, cool. I think we can do this as an additional project, or like, nah, this is going to be work for the sake of work. So I would probably say no, but I will hold my decision until that moment. So, anything
Absolutely.
else you got on Silo season two?
Uh, no, no, no. I'm just looking forward to seeing where they go. I mean, uh, I really like The Walking Dead. This is just going to give kind of a background. I really like The Walking Dead.
Same,
The first
same.
seasons were the best seasons.
Hey,
The
yes.
problem was there were up to the third season, maybe it was a good show, and they could probably ended it at that point somewhere, but it kept going.
Hmm.
And the problem with shows like this, survival shows, like unless you're going to do something dramatic, something dynamic, something so unique and interesting that people keep coming to the show, what you end up doing is you end up hurting the audience, and that's the problem with The Walking Dead. It just kept going, and the problem was it was like a loop. It was the same story every season with a new villain, and it was kind of
Yeah.
like I really was interested in like the point when I was interested in The Walking Dead is when the question was the people started going back to the dead people, the zombies were going back to their houses. I was
Hmm.
like, oh, does that mean like the zombies have some level of consciousness? Like, what's this mean? They
And if they
set
have
that up
one,
and then they never did anything with it. The show has what, how many seasons? 16,
uh,
17 seasons?
I yeah, yeah. I know they have a lot.
And
I think
they created that theme in like the third season and never went back to it. Back when the black guy was at home and his wife kept coming back to the house
no,
and
that
knocking on the
was season
door.
one. That was Morgan, and that was season one.
That
But
wasn't
they
season one.
did.
That was season no. That was Morgan didn't show up in season one. In season one, there's no Morgan didn't show up until season two or
Morgan,
three.
yes, he did because Morgan's son hit Rick with the shovel when he got out the hospital. That's
Remember,
season one.
Rick in the very no Rick does not meet Morgan until at least the second or third season. I'll look it up right now.
Okay. But so we got a comment just because we trying to drift into Walking Dead, but the junkyard zombies, that was an interesting thing. But that was one of the things that took forever to figure out if they're alpha or a beta. But they eventually, oh no, A or B. But they eventually got to that. But that was seasons down the line. But yeah, the thing with the Walking Dead was that after a while, if you were really dedicated to the show in the beginning, you did realize that everything's going to have
Oh
to go
wow,
into
you're
time,
right.
place.
You're
Hmm?
right. He was in season one.
Yeah, his son hit Rick with the shovel, and then they went to the house, and that's how Morgan explained everything that was going on.
So then that to me that was like okay, so that's what got me really interested in that season then, because I was like, oh maybe there's going to be this conflict between like these conscious zombies, and then you have these humans, and it's a conflict of like prioritizing, access to resources. That they never did anything with that. It's
Well,
just say,
what
go
happened
ahead.
down the line? Well, right now, what's happening is, and I have not seen the spin-offs, particularly one with Daryl, but apparently somehow he ends up in France, where the zombies were, where the virus basically started. But these zombies are more advanced; they actually use tools and stuff. But that was one of the things that most people seem to forget because if you remember in season one, when they got trapped in the shopping mall, there were some of the zombies that picked up like rocks and stuff to try to break the glass, but they never really went back to. They kind of just made the zombies dumber and dumber.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying.
But no, now there's spin-offs to where their zombies can do more right now. But I
Well,
haven't
so then
caught those.
they would have to see. That's just dumb to me then, because we saw zombies that were conscious enough to go back home. Zombies that use rocks to break glass. I mean, you have to be pretty conscious to realize you can break glass with a rock, and you also have to be conscious enough knowing that if you break the glass with your hand, you're going to hurt yourself. So these zombies were conscious enough to make these decisions,
Well,
and then
if
all of a sudden they got dumber and dumber and dumber, and to the point where they were just open holes and the zombies were falling into them. And it was like,
yeah,
this is
but
getting
the thing,
stupid.
the way that they kind of patch that is because they they did a throwback. It was like the last season of The Walking Dead that I actually watched, but they got some type of radio message that says, be careful that just because they can't do this, some of them can, and watch out for it." And then the scene cuts to where there, whoever the doctor or whoever it was, the scientist, was saying something, and they were running from a zombie. They shot the zombie. They ran out the door and closed the door. Then the zombie got back up. The zombie walked towards the door, and the doorknob started shaking, which threw it back to when the wife of Morgan used to go to the house and rattle the doorknob. And that's how they kind of segue into this new, more active, conscious zombie thing. But I haven't watched none of this new stuff.
Wow. See, yeah, I haven't watched it since when they killed off. What was the Asian guy's name?
Glenn.
Glenn. When they killed Glenn, I might have watched three more episodes, or maybe I even watched another season. And after that, I was kind of like I was done with the show,
No, I
and
watched
I
the
never went
season.
back to it.
I watched a lot of it. I think I may have made up to season 7 or 8 actually, and then I
Really, yeah,
even
you
started
made it
watching the
farther than I
spinoffs.
did.
Yeah,
So that's
then I
why I'm
started
hoping they
watching the
don't do the
spinoffs
silo
like
though.
here.
Like I hope they
Yeah,
don't do this to Silo because I enjoyed the very first season of Silo. I can go back and watch that and still enjoy it, but
I,
I just
I,
don't know if there's enough story to tell. But we'll find out. I mean, it's based off in I think a book or
yeah, it's based off of the book by Hugh Howey. Hugh Howey.
so. Then we're gonna jump into the VMAs here that I accidentally watched, and I was telling Kenny that I accidentally watched it because I turned on Sling. I don't really go on there often, but I went on Sling and I saw there was I haven't watched the new seasons of Power with the new character. Since Ghost was killed, I haven't watched the new seasons, right? So I was like, oh, I see it's on here. I clicked on BET, is gonna watch it, but they were playing MTV's movie music, the MTV Video Music Awards on BET. It was
Hmm.
like streaming on. I was like, what the hell is that? Why would they stream the MTV awards on BET? But Kenny was saying before somebody bought both of those channels. It's probably Viacom owns both of them now, and so they're interchangeable. With that said, I ended up watching the MTV Awards, and I realized quite quickly I don't know any of these people. Like, I mean, I know
You
who
lying? You
Taylor
know some of
Swift
these
is.
people.
No,
You
I
know
mean I
the
know who
dude next
Eminem.
to her. You know the
Okay, I
girl
knew
on the
who.
right.
Let me look. I knew who Eminem was. I knew who
Okay.
Taylor Swift was. I knew a little bit about Post Malone. Really don't know much about his music, but the rest of these artists on there had no idea who they were.
Ain't that Ariana Grande and I
Yeah,
would
but that's
assume
she
that
was not even on. I didn't even see her at the awards. She wasn't even singing at the awards. All the artists that were performing at the awards, I had never seen them before.
no. And I would
You
think
got
I don't
artists
know
up
if
here
that's
that
Billie
were
Eilish,
at the
but I'm used
awards,
to seeing
maybe.
Billie Eilish with black hair though, so I don't know if that's Billie Eilish. But I know 4 out of the 5 directly, easy off the bat.
Well, I know, yeah, right here because old, old, and old. These three artists are old. We've seen these artists before, like they're old artists. I mean, Post Malone ain't that old, but Eminem and Taylor Swift go all the way back to like 2005, 2006. Like these artists are old artists. But the newer artists, I had no idea. Like Ron Chapel. I mean, I'm gonna name off the names here. People I didn't know at the Video Music Awards. Like this woman right here. I don't know who she is. I guess her name was Sebastian or. Let me just pull up the awards list here. So Taylor Swift won with Post Malone for Fortnite for Video of the Year. Artist of the Year was Taylor Swift. Song of the Year was Sabrina Carpenter. Espresso. I've never even heard that song. Don't even know who she is.
I don't either.
I know who Chapel Rowan is now because a lot of people are talking about her. Of course, Taylor Swift once again won for Best Collaboration. She won for Best Pop. I have a question for you.
What's up?
Eminem won for Best Hip Hop with Eminem's Houdini. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think they got that right? Because for me, the biggest song of the year was Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. Like, that was the biggest thing of the year.
To me, that would be true. Um, I well, one thing that always occurs, which is always kind of weird, I never really bothered to ever look and see what are the guidelines for when a song is eligible or what does a song have to actually meet for like ASCAP or
Honestly, didn't
IRA.
Houdini just come out? Like, Not Like Us has been out way longer than Houdini.
It was the end of the summer. Houdini was probably about the end of the summer too. But remember, there was things with the way Kendrick was releasing his music and how Drake were releasing their music compared to Eminem, who actually dropped a full blown ASCAP verified certified album. I don't know because these are just diss tracks. Were they really connected or considered part of an actual album? That's the
Huh.
kind of the part that I don't know if the VMAs look at that because I know those rules
Well,
are like really strict with the
didn't
Grammy.
Tupac get a nomination for his beef song with Biggie? I think he got a
Against Biggie,
nomination for that
hit
song.
him up. I
Hit
don't
him up.
know
I
if he
think he
did
got a
win for Hit 'em Up.
nomination for Hit 'em Up.
I'm
So
not
and
sure.
Hit
I
'em
would
Up
have to
was
go look into
really
that.
like like a single. I mean, it ended up being on the album, but when
But
he
then you
first
got to
dropped
think
it,
too, even if that is the case, more than likely because he was part of the old school record industry, that album may have been
you're
a
right
legit
too.
album
There was no
compared to
streaming of
now.
that. Only way you heard that song is because it was released on a regular. All right.
Yeah, because nowadays you can be somebody that makes music in your bedroom and you can get a thing and you make a video. If you can get it certified by ASCAP and RIA, the Record Industry Association of America, then it's a legit album. And then I think you can be eligible for awards. That's why I know with the beef records that Drake and Kendrick were putting out, those were more like songs that they made and released directly to the internet.
All
So,
right. I mean, because
but yeah,
my question I want to ask you right here, since we're at the best hip hop and Eminem received that award, how does MTV stay relevant in a time of mostly streaming? Because I mean,
uh,
honestly, real talk, like I know Chapel Rowan because people were talking about her as this artist. They said that your artist's favorite artist. That's
okay.
who Chapel Rowan was. So I went and checked her out. I like her. I think she's cool.
Okay. So the question is, how does MTV stay relevant with picking certain artists? I don't think it works that way, particularly for MTV anymore. MTV is more of it's a channel. They don't necessarily play music. They are I think they're trying to reinvent themselves, but the problem is a lot of their groups of people like me that grew up with MTV, we've kind
Uh-huh.
of moved on. We've either just went back to listening to our old CDs, or we adopted new stuff and we just do it with the streaming. Like I cannot tell you the last time I actually would even watch anything on MTV. I tell you the last shows I remember watching and everything, but I can't tell you the last time I watched anything on MTV. If
The
anything, what
MTV VMA Awards was the first thing I've watched on MTV since I got in the
see,
Navy. So 20 something years. I haven't watched anything. No, I lie. Was the Diddy show and everything was on MTV, right?
the Diddy show was that?
Yeah, like making the band and like
Oh yeah, that was on, but that was before that. That was way before that. That was like back in the early 2000, like 2001 and shit like that.
I also said maybe that's the last time I really watched it because I remember
Right.
watching Making the Band,
Here go
and
one.
that was probably the
Strain
last time I
said.
watched anything on MTV. You're right. Yeah,
Strain said
honestly, that's
dropping
the
big.
last thing I watched. That was over 20 years ago. And so this was the first time that I was thought I was going to be watching BET, Black Evil TV, but I
No, I was.
I ended up
I know on
watching the
MTV.
VMAs, and that's when I
I
was
know
like,
on
"Oh,
MTV.
okay."
The last thing that I can recall watching was like Guy Code and Girl Code, um, Silent Library, but that might be even older though. But those are like the last things. And I'm because I'm a big music video person, and when MTV basically stopped having actual even shows that played videos such as Total Request Live or Yo MTV Raps or anything
Yeah.
like that, then that's kind of where I fell off and stopped watching it. The better thing was what BET still played music videos at the time, so I would still watch BET. Outside of that, once I found that YouTube had music videos, it was out the window for that because I just go and watch music videos on
Hmm.
YouTube. Which to me, honestly, YouTube should probably pick up the trophy, the stick, the baton, and
You're right.
start having an
YouTube, it should be the
actual
YouTube Music Video Awards because
yes.
honestly, it's a
I would
better barometer for how popular that song is. Because I mean,
yeah.
think about it. When things pop off and if it's truly popular, it's going to be viewed on YouTube. I
Yes.
don't know if it's truly viewed on MTV. I don't even know if they have a video, channel anymore. I mean, they don't play
I
like.
mean,
Is there a video show? I don't know.
on the actual hardcore channel of MTV, I do not know. And I remember when MTV did the split, there was MTV and then MTV2. And MTV2 was the one that was trying to start playing the videos again. But I don't even know what happened to MTV2. I haven't heard of that. Um, if you do want to watch videos on MTV, the only way I know you can, if you have Pluto TV, which is a free TV app, there are MTV music channels that stream music videos, but they're broken down into just all the different genres of music. But if you wanted to say, hey, I'm watching MTV and I'm watching music videos, Pluto TV does have MTV music channels that are all broken out into genres of music. So if that's what they
Yeah, I mean,
just decide
Apple
to do,
Apple has the same thing. So I could, if I
well,
wanted to watch like videos, Apple, Music has Apple videos, and they have they have it's broken into genres, it's broken into what's popular, it's broken into worlds, so you can see all the different music videos from around the world. But maybe YouTube probably should pick up that baton and move it forward. I'm gonna name off the rest of these awards here. So, best R&B from SZA. Am I
mm-hmm.
saying it right? SZA
Yes, it's a,
for Snooze. Best alternative is Benson Boone. I
don't know,
I'm not
don't know.
familiar with that guy. And then we have best rock was Lenny Kravitz. So Lenny Kravitz is still running MTV awards. We got best Latin, which was Anita. And here's where the conflict for me happened too. So they call it the best Afro beats.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that's a terrible. It's supposed to be a catch all for all African music, and all African
Mm-hmm.
music. I mean, Africa is a huge continent. You can't catch
Yeah, well,
all African music under. Well, no, that's what they did though, because
but
when you were
that's the
listening to
name.
the choices on there,
If you ask artists that are from the continent of Africa when they get interviewed, because the catch with Afro beats is generally they sing over, which is called world beat too. They sing over world beat that has a traditional African sounding music, and they also sing in English, but they mix in traditional African word slang from whatever country they are from. That's what the word Afro beats is, and actually
Yes.
Afro beats
But the
is a big
problem
thing.
was some of the artists on there weren't Afrobeat artists. And even Tyler said that. She was like, look, y'all can't call all these artists on here Afrobeats. You can't create a
What artists did
genre
they?
called Afrobeats and try to capture. Because I
Did she
heard
name
something
some?
talk. Yeah, she won an award. So she won. She
No, not who
won.
she is. I know who Tyler is. She made water or wet,
Yeah,
whatever the
yeah.
song
No, she
is.
won the award for Water. But what she literally said was like, she literally said to MTV, y'all can't call this Afrobeats. Like y'all can't like from where I'm from and from all these other cultures, you can't put them under the umbrella of Afrobeats. It's just
So
wrong because
I
Afrobeats
would
is a
say,
type of genre, but Africa has more genres than that. So the fact that they're wrapping up all of Africa under the what was popular in American music, like what broke through,
hmm
is unfair and unwise because there are a lot of other artists who are going to break through and they're not going to be Afro beats, but they're going to fall into the Afro beats thing. Other
well,
question too is they should just be pop music.
not
Whenever you
everybody.
break through, popular means breakthrough artist. If you're a country artist, perfect example. What was Taylor Swift? She was a country artist. She broke through and became a pop artist. Her country music broke through, broke beyond country music, and she became a pop artist. Michael Jackson was, R&B, you know, an R&B artist that broke through and became a pop artist, the king of pop. Pop
So
means
let
you
me ask you this.
break
Let
through
me ask you this.
artists. That's what it means. They even
Okay, so
used to
let me ask
call
you this
it
question. Here's
the
the
break.
question.
They used to call it breakthrough artists.
All right, so
Now
here's
all
the
of a sudden,
question.
so it should just be pop. She's a pop artist now. She broke through. She broke out of the Africa music area into world. And when you break through the world, perfect example. When the Beatles broke through, they were pop artists. They broke through. They were pop artists. They were European artists that
hmm
broke through on the American stage. That becomes popular. Popular just means popular. It means popular everywhere.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like Drake, pop artist. Yeah, he's a
Okay.
rapper, but he's a pop artist. He's all over the world. Tupac, pop artist. Jay-Z, pop artist. Nas, not so much. Nas not is not really a pop artist. He's a rap artist. You
Okay.
know,
My question that I pose to you is, knowing that she broke through and she broke into the American mainstream music industry, and she made music from the continent of Africa, and generally the label that American people would call it is Afro beats. But now
no, they were
she
just called. I mean, they don't have a name for it. Like just Latin
if
music
you
is
go
Latin
to a
music. They're
club,
called
there's
Af.
clubs that say we have an Afro beats night.
I
That's a
never heard
thing.
Afro. I had never heard the term Afro beats until mostly the last couple years. Before that, you never
Yeah.
heard the word Afro beats.
Well,
So
no,
why are
because
we
normally
acting
they
like that
call it.
had always been the nomenclature that African music it was world music. It was
Yes,
if
it
you
was
go
called
on
world
Apple
music.
Music right now, all of music outside the US is called world music
Yes, yes,
until
you are
it
right
breaks
about that. I'm
through.
not arguing
And then
that
it
point, but
becomes pop.
what I'm trying to say is, all right. So once it becomes pop, is it pop just because it made it to America, or is it pop
It's
because more
pop because
people are
it's
listening?
become popular. You're a breakthrough artist. You're a pop artist now. You're no longer
I would say
locked
this.
into a genre. You are outside that genre. You are special compared to your genre. Perfect example. Beyonce is a pop artist. She can go and do a country album. She can do an R&B album. She can do a rap album. She can literally, if she wanted to right now, she could do an alternative album and people would go listen to it. When you're a pop artist, you can
But I
do
don't
that.
think, and even with this, I don't think Tila garners that type of recognition though. So I understand what you're saying. Yes, this one song that she has is extremely popular, and I know a lot of people listen to it, and it broke into the American mainstream. But she doesn't have the ability to do all different
We
ranges of
don't
music.
know that.
And if you listen to
Again,
hold on, if you listen to this song seems more of a traditional R&B song, which would be more acceptable to the American palate compared to knowing that, oh no, this artist is really from
I
Africa, and then the beat behind it
disagree.
is
I
more of
absolutely
African traditional
disagree
music.
because there are songs that freaking Taylor Swift has that can fall under R&B.
Yeah, but
We
that's what I'm
call it
saying.
pop still, right?
Generally,
So just
yes, but R&B music is easier to translate over to becoming a pop artist compared to
because most of those because
who is it?
R&B
What's his
music,
name?
the biggest artist from hold on, let me listen, let me say what I'm about to say before you come over. The biggest some of the big music artists in R&B were some of the first pop artists.
Yes.
So that's why it's so easy because when you open the door, just like Michael Jackson said, when he got his first music video on MTV, he opened the door to all these black artists to walk right through that door to become pop artists overnight. Just was like no problem. So R&B for a long time until recently, a lot of those artists were pop artists. Alicia Keys, Beyonce. You can go back to
To me, they start as R&B artists, then become a pop artist.
of
You
course,
agree with
that's
that?
what I does. What are you talking about? I
No, you
literally
said they were
said
pop
that. But
artists.
they no, listen to what I just said. That's where you start, and then you break through. You become beyond your genre. That's what it
Yes, I
means to be a
agree
pop
with you.
artist. Beyond your genre.
Okay, so
Tyler
this is the
now is
difference.
beyond her. Tyler now is beyond her genre. People who would not necessarily listen to her type of music listen to. There are white kids right now who would never listen to Afrobeat sound, listening to
Mhm.
Afrobeat sound because of her. She's a pop artist. She's opened the door for other Afrobeat artists to become pop artists. She's
Okay, now
beyond her genre. Her next
here's
album is going to
here's
be
the catch
listened to.
to
Let me
what you just
stop.
said.
Let me finish. Her next album is going to be listened to by people who would never have listened to that type of music. There is some white dude right now in his car listening to Tyler, and on her next album, he'll be buying it. And then he'll start listening to these other artists that will start streaming into his world. That's what happens when you break through. She's
Okay.
no so she got the award for Afro beats, but she should have had the award for new pop artist because that's what
So who won
she
for new pop artists then?
is.
Who won for new pop artists?
Let's
And I
see.
got still got my question that I have to ask. While you look that up, uh, there are Afro beats rappers.
I know there are. I know
They
Kenny. I know there are.
That's
I
why I'm
listen to
saying that
Afro
I
beats.
think when you do R&B music in whatever fashion, if you do sing-songy music in whatever fashion, it does always have the better ability to cross over. And I get what you're saying that she should be pop artist instead of Afro beats, but it's like no different from being an R&B artist. You're an Afro beats artist, and then when you cross
All
that
right, for
line, now
instance, all
you're
right, put it
a
like
pop
this,
artist.
right?
Wait, who
So
won pop artist?
I'm
New
about
pop
to
artist?
say. So it looks like best new artist was Chapel Rowan. I'm assuming maybe that's the best new pop artist, right? So
Yes.
best new artist was Chapel Rowan.
Mhm.
But honestly, Tyler Tyler's album is bigger than Chapel Rowan's. So Chapel Rowan is not the best new. Well, she's the best new artist. See, this is where music gets weird. This is where these nomenclatures always get me, right? Tyler's a new artist, right? So wouldn't
Okay.
she also be best new artist? If you're it's so weird, man. This has always
See,
been weird to me. I've always had this conversation with even with my buddy Sean. I'd be like, duh, I don't understand the nomenclatures for this music because it's so
well, I'm looking at this list right there. So best new artists, the nominees: Benson Boone, Chapel Rowan, who was the winner, Gracie Abrams, Shabuzi, Teddy Swims, and Tila. The only people I know on this is
oh, so
Shabuzi
Tyler
and
was
Tila.
on there. Tyler was one of the artists.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but Chapel Rowan was the actual winner for best new artist, and the only artist I even know on this whole list, I know Tila and Shabuzi. And Shabuzi is the black dude that sing the country music.
So see what I'm saying? I like Chapel Rowan, I really do, but
What type
I
of music does
don't
she?
think she's the best new
What type of
artist.
music does she make?
She makes like queer sounding music. She's more like if I could put her in, she's like a more a, a more unique Lady Gaga.
A more unique Lady Gaga. All right. So what song should I go listen to? Since I don't know this artist, this is you trying to sell her to me.
Let me go on my music real quick here because I
I'm
got a
just This is
song.
just
I want to
curiosity
get the
though.
name
So
right. Let me go to my recently. Let's see. Um, I want to get the name right of the song. That I like this song, but let's see. Recently added. There we go. Chapel Rowan. I don't want to click on the song though, because it'll start playing, and then we'll get
No, no,
a
don't click on
strike.
it. Well, you don't got to do it right now. Just eventually, just text me the title of it, and I'll go look for it.
Oh
But,
yeah. Well, her new
but
album
yeah,
is called "The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess,"
the rise
and
and fall of the Midwest Princess. Okay.
yeah. But the song that I'm thinking about, I don't want to click on my music here because it'll start playing it, and then I think I
Just
have
give me the
her
title.
whole album here. But the song that I
Just give,
really like from her is this particular song. Um, yeah, so I get that. So then I mean, so we all in agreement. Let's say Chapel Rowan is the best new artist, but it also proves that Tyler is broken out of that area. She is a pop artist now. And so that's what happens, right? So you become a pop artist. And I think she's the best new. I don't
so this is what I want to say. What I think what's kind of getting overlooked. If she is a pop artist, that means that if she won an award for best Afro beats, then that means she is the best Afrobeat artist right now at this moment. Why can't
Yeah, I
that be true?
agree. I'll give you that. I'll agree with that.
Okay, of
I also feel like she shouldn't be typecast. They do that to black artists. They don't do that to white artists.
course not.
You know what I'm saying?
That's obvious.
For instance, with Taylor Swift will always be a pop artist. She may win an award for country music. She don't care. She ain't trying to win that award. She knows she's bigger than they are.
Yeah.
She don't care. You know what I'm saying? But she wants that best artist. She wants this is the awards that she won, right? This is where Taylor Swift won Artist of the Year, Video of the Year, Best Collaboration of the Year, Best Pop Song of the Year,
Look,
and Best Direction for a Video,
and see,
Best Editing for a Video,
I have no issues with none of that. And I'll be real. The only
Best
time I
Song of
would
the Sun.
hold on, look, I have no issue with none of that. The only
No, no,
time
no, no,
I
no.
would
Let me
have an
finish what I'm about to
issue
say
if
here. I don't have a problem with it either. But it should also be fair for Tyler to do it next year. It should also be fair for Megan Thee Stallion to do it next year. I don't know if Megan Thee Stallion is broken out so much outside of. Okay, that's a bit. Is Megan Thee Stallion now a pop artist or is she still a rap artist?
I could not answer that because Megan Thee Stallion is a rapper to me.
I,
The
okay,
way
Drake
you
is a
describe
rapper. He's a pop artist.
Drake
Jay
is not.
Z
See,
is a
Drake.
rapper.
Hold on,
He's a pop
I'm about to
artist.
tell you.
Kanye
We've
West.
already had this. Listen, Drake is not a rapper to me personally. Drake has never been a rapper. He's a
All right,
person that
whatever.
acts like
But
a rapper.
he started out. He was under the umbrella of rap, and he is
He's
a
still
pop
saying
artist today.
no. Drake is, if anything, Drake has always been a pop artist to me.
All right, that's
He
fine.
raps. He raps well. He makes good songs, but he has always sang. So
You
Drake
agree
to
that Jay
me,
Z is a pop artist, right?
and then that's when the definition makes it sound like because he's popular and everybody knows
Well,
and
that's all
they
it
listen to his
means. It
music.
just means that you've broken outside. There are rappers, right? Like Black Milk. I love Black Milk, but he ain't no pop artist. Most
Okay.
people don't even know who he is. He's not able to break out of that umbrella of rap. When you become a pop artist, you become bigger than your genre. When you're bigger than your genre, people who will not necessarily listen to you are listening to your music. You are
But see,
bigger
that's
than you are bigger
so
than music.
so I would say if the thing is that you're using, you got to be bigger than your music, your genre. People got to listen to you, which that gets weird now because people listen to everything.
Well,
Um, what's the next thing you said? Give me at least three things. We got those, so give me one
hey,
more thing,
you
and I'll
you
tell you.
become bigger than you become bigger than your genre.
Okay.
People who would not necessarily listen to your type of music are listening to your type of music.
Okay.
And you have come to a point where you're bigger than music itself. You're maybe one of the most important assets. You're the
No,
you.
then Meg Stallion is not.
All right, all right.
She's not bigger than hip hop. There are people that listen to her that probably just listen to that type of music, but she is not bigger than the music industry itself. So no, she is not. Who
I
else do
think
we
there are
want to name?
only. I think on my hand, I think today there are only a handful of artists who are bigger than music itself. That has to be Taylor Swift. That'd be Beyonce. I would even say, and I'm done. That's about it.
So
Honestly,
if we were being realistic, then why would Jay Z not be?
mostly because Jay Z hasn't really dropped any music in a while.
He didn't. He retired. He doesn't have to. He's
That's what I
more
mean,
into
though.
every other
Like,
thing.
okay, Jay Z is Jay Z, but like, if I'm naming artists who are right now
Right
doing
now,
things that
okay,
are bigger than music, I only have two. It's Beyonce and Taylor Swift.
okay. So then Eminem, he just dropped a new album. He's
He
current
did
right
drop a
now.
new album. Man, for me, I really, I'm
He's
gonna be real with you.
outgrown.
For me, Eminem has always only been a rap artist that's very popular.
Okay, so he's hitting two out of the three of your things. The
No,
third one is he bigger than music? You could say because he's put a lot of people on.
I'll give you the Eminem.
Okay,
I I I don't think
you
you
reluctantly
think
give me the
Eminem's bigger
Eminem
than Jay Z. I get all right, fine,
because
fine.
if you disqualify Jay Z because he doesn't have current music, I can respect that. But Eminem, boom, he hits pretty much all of those in a full
All right,
stride.
so you got Eminem,
Um,
then
did we
Beyonce
want to
and Taylor
go
Swift.
Lady Gaga?
I mean, she's not. She's a big pop
I listen to
artist.
Lady Gaga, and you know I'm a person that listen to rap, and I listen to Lady Gaga. I know Lady Gaga songs word for word. She's
So I give
she
it Lady
outgrew her
Gaga.
genre.
Although, I mean, I don't remember any music from her recently, but yeah, you say
Okay,
that.
so that may be a little disqualifier for her then, because I can't think of any recent music that I've heard from her. But I
Yeah.
know she's in movies
I
and
mean, I'm
stuff.
talking
She
about like
played.
right now for the music awards. I mean, maybe
Okay,
next year I'd be different. Maybe next year Lady Gaga releases an album that's huge, and
okay.
you're like, oh yeah, I mean, of course, Lady Gaga,
So
and then or
I
Madonna
mean,
does something and she releases a new album or something, and you go, of course, Madonna is always going to be a world pop artist. Like Madonna, there are people who are always just going to be that. Like Madonna is always going to be that.
mhm,
She's earned that. Janet Jackson earned that. They're always going to be bigger than music. They just are. They
okay,
are the
okay.
legacy of music. But that's not what I'm referring to in this. I'm referring in the umbrella of music awards. Right at this very moment, there's Beyonce and there's Taylor Swift and there's Eminem, and they all won awards here except for Beyonce. Beyonce didn't
Oh,
win any music awards here, which I don't know why she didn't because she dropped that country album and that album was dope. So I don't know.
yeah, but okay. So I do see the comment from Strange Strain saying, "How about Big Frida? Big Frida does not hit none of those. Big Frida is New Orleans bounce music.
Come on, man. You can't be talking
That's
about
New
Big
Orleans
Frida.
bounce music. Unless you are into particularly Black culture music, particularly from the area of Louisiana, you probably don't even know who Big Frida is. Yes, she did have a TV show, or they had a TV show. Let me put it that way. They had a TV show, made commercials, but I don't think unless you know exactly who that is, they don't hit none of those three standards that were just met and made. So nah, can't. Sorry,
Big
Big Frida
Frida.
doesn't get it.
Nice try, though.
Yeah. All right, you want to go ahead since we still in the musical realm a little bit?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So then we're
So
going to go to
speaking
our
about
boy
music
here.
and things that's going on, if y'all don't know, last week it got announced that Kendrick Lamar he's going to be performing at the 2025 Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show. The big controversy that kind of came behind this is because the Super Bowl is going to be in New Orleans, and people were banking and thinking it was going to be Lil Wayne. Because
Oh, yeah. Now, I heard there was some controversy around that, right?
Mhm.
People were saying that there was an expectation that Lil Wayne would be doing it because it was in Louisiana.
Yeah, in New Orleans, where he's from.
I don't.
And well, they're thinking that too, based upon what happened last Super Bowl when they did it in LA, and it basically was Dr. Dre and all of his people that did the Super Bowl. It was all
Yeah,
the LA people. Then he invited, 50 Cent from New York and Eminem from
I can
Detroit.
respect that.
But it was all like a very much a LA Super Bowl halftime show with a big name
I
LA
would have loved
artist.
to have seen a South halftime show with like Lil Wayne and
I mean,
uh
this is what would have happened.
Outcast.
And they could have potentially pulled it that way, but the bank with Lil Wayne would have been if Lil Wayne would have went, he could have called in his favors from Nicki Minaj. He could have called his favor from Drake, and then you still got the other known, lower known artists, the big timers, and all that stuff. It would have been a show. Don't get me wrong, and it would have
I would
been
have
good
enjoyed that
rolling
show.
out.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
But the insult to injury,
No Limit
uh,
could have been there. That would have been dope too, son.
well, yeah, there's so many ways this could have went. It could have been a big rep for the
The
city of New
South.
Orleans. So yeah, it could have, and not just the South. They could have just xed out anybody that was not from Louisiana. They could have brought Boosie,
Oh,
Riff.
they could
They
have
could
done
have
that
made it
too.
a
Yeah.
real like New Orleans thing, the same way that they kind of did it with LA. And then on top of that, they still could have added in other music styles and everything, which could have worked. But the
I
jab
would
and
have loved
stuff
to seen
is
a Louisiana like Mardi Gras Super Bowl halftime show. That would have been hard, yo. Like that
look,
would have
I could
been
write a whole
cool to
script for
watch.
how my mind would have went. It would have went. Lil Wayne come out, he did his thing. He started with like his low song and flip over to one. Nicki comes out, the crowd will go crazy. Nicki comes out, then even Drake comes out. That's gonna be kind of weird, but it's still gonna be Drake. And then if they had a little switch and all of a sudden Master P and them come out, that
That
would
would
have
have
been.
been dope.
I would
I
have
would
went
have
into
been like,
crazy
let's go. I would have been all for
because
that.
that's basically the same thing when Dre did it. Everybody knew Dre was gonna do it. Everybody knew Snoop was gonna be there. But then when he started bringing out everybody else, and then
Yeah.
Eminem popped up, 50 Cent popped up, it was whole aftermath basically. That was like what? So that's why it worked. But the funny thing about this is Kendrick Lamar has had a huge basic, spring into summer and we're running into
He
fall, and
has.
that means this energy that he's already built up is going to carry over into next year.
Yeah.
And it's the if you listen to the whole Drake thing, the Drake and J. Cole song called First Person Shooter, the rap line in there when Drake says, "It's me versus you," when he's talking to J. Cole, and that's when they left out Kendrick. That's where this whole kind of thing kind of started from. But he goes, "We're bigger than the Super Bowl," and the irony is that Kendrick Lamar gets to do the Super Bowl. Drake
Yeah.
doesn't get to do the Super Bowl, and Drake could have potentially been there if Wayne got a chance to do the Super Bowl, but nope.
Man.
Kendrick Lamar, he gets to do the Super Bowl, and then once again, he more than likely is going to perform not like us on one of the most biggest watch screens, and it's already carried over from. It'll carry over from spring, summer. We're already in fall. This commercial just dropped last week. He just dropped a new album yesterday, not an album, a new song yesterday, and then this is going to carry over to February of next year, and it's going to be at the Super Bowl. That's tough. That's tough.
Well, like I said, man, your boy is done.
He's not my boy. I have never liked Drake. I remember the first time I seen Kendrick, I was like, no, that dude could rap. And Drake has always been this funny thing to me. And look, oddly enough, FD Signifier said it best because I'm like, I always been telling people that people just like I was a Drake hater. No, I like his music and shit, but it was just something. It always fucked me up when he tried to do that freestyle and he was reading off his BlackBerry. That's the shit that always I'm like, you're not a
Who is
real
this?
rapper.
Drake?
Drake, yeah. So
I
that's where it always was off for me. And then when the ghostwriter started coming out, and there was one part of me says, no, you need a team. But when it comes down to you don't even write your own shit. But that's why I'm like, you're an actor that can act as a rapper extremely well. You
mm-hmm.
winning at that. But it's that balance between being an authentic rapper compared to whatnot. So what y'all see on the screen is some of y'all may know what this means. Some of y'all may not. Um, these are Black Air Forces. If you were with the shits or you grew up in certain communities, you know Black Air Forces mean business time. Not good business, but business. And business is gonna get handled. Whether it is illegal activity or it means like, hey, who said what about who? Or they did what to who? It's time to get active. So Kendrick Lamar just released a new song today. It's called "Watch the Party Die." The image that he put up, because I think he initially posted on his Instagram, I guess, but I got word through Twitter, and then I went to go find it. And I found it on YouTube Music. But these are Black Air Forces. The interesting thing is, everybody thought this was going to be a knock 'em, drag 'em, attack song again. Like he done spun the block once more, but no, it's not. It's a very different song. I like the beat. The flow isn't as aggressive, but he's talking about the music industry and the way things are going. And the fact that I think, and I don't know, but I would assume that he's reflecting on how big his this song that he just made was, and it has have a party beat and vibe, and people play it at parties all the time. But he's also wants to get back to being him, quote unquote, himself again, where
Yeah.
he is doing his music the way he wants to do it back again. Because he has the line where he says, "No, I had to walk him down," as in the sense of, I don't even want to be doing this, but he kept saying something, so I had to walk him down. And if y'all don't know what walk him down mean, that means basically you about to get stumped out. And so he says it in the song, but he lets that line just kind of go, and he gets back to start talking about everything else. And if y'all don't know, Kendrick Lamar is getting ready to drop an album. That's another reason this is going to just carry over with all the synergy and stuff. But I dig it. I like the song. If you haven't heard it, go look for it. But it's really good. It's not they not like us. It's a little bit more mellowed down, but he's still saying certain things that just happened in regards to this situation, what he was doing before all this happened, and what he's trying to probably get back to and probably promoting for his new album too. So I like the song. D, I know you said you gave it a listen. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoyed the song actually. It's more of the style that I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not a big fan of Not Like Us because it's just I'm more laid back listener to Kendrick Lamar. I like his more
Mm-hmm.
laid back stuff. Um, but he did say some things in there. Now, DJ Academics do be dick riding for your boy Drake. I mean,
Yes.
he be look. There's a difference between being a fan of an artist and then straight up dick riding. And your boy
Well,
is a dick rider
look,
hard.
let me look. I gotta do you like Kendrick real quick. Let me put you up on game. They don't call it dick riding anymore because that's kind of homophobic to say. They call it glazing, which is still funny as fuck to me, but
All right,
that's
so
what they
he's
call it.
glazing.
Huh?
To be proper in 2024, he glazing. He
Yeah.
glazing real hard.
He's
He
like
over there.
DJ Academics
I got
with
one
Drake.
better. He a
What?
polisher. He a sword polisher. That's
That
what he
still
is. He a
sounds
sword
kind of
polisher, man. And so he short polish harder than anybody in the game. And so there was a line in the song where it's kind of a shot at him by Kendrick
hmm
Lamar. He says the radio personality pushing propaganda for salary. Let me know when they turn up as a casualty. And so
Yep, that was a shot off to DJ Academics to say, look, you be doing this for the fucked up reason. You just get money because you getting paid for all your streams and stuff. I look, just tell me when he did. That's basically what he's saying. No, just straight to the point, but very lyrical, very smooth. And if you read the lyrics, then you get who he's talking about. And but he covers a lot of everything in here. But I do like the title of the song too. One thing, the one thing I did appreciate between that whole beef and battle that was going on, both of these individuals are very detailed and systematic on how they do stuff. Like even
yeah,
this image that y'all see is it means something. If you know what it means, you know what it means.
it's very
But he
cryptic.
was, hmm?
It's very cryptic.
Well, this is not as encrypted. It was just
It
make
is
a
cryptic.
statement.
If I just took a pair of shoes and sat them in front of you, you gotta know what's going. You gotta be in the know to know what's going on.
These are Black Air Force Ones. It's Black Air Force activity. And that's the thing. I mean, it's a thing. Just trust me, it's a thing. But I like kind of the misdirection a little bit that he did. He put the image of the Black Air Forces and then he said, "Watch the party die." But when you listen to the song, it's less of about something's about to go off again. It's more about, all right, cool. We done had our fun. We done had our fun. I'm gonna ride this little wave out. But then I took it from me listening to it. He wants to get back to being himself and making the music he made before he had to go into straight battle mode. So that's what I took it from. But
Well,
song is dope. Song
I
is good.
thought that the reason these shoes were here is because on push-ups, Drake made fun of the size of his shoes, and then
That's
he
from a news
showed.
article. I know the news article you're reading. You're reading a news article.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying right there. And so when he
No.
looked at that, I was like, oh, that makes sense because remember he was talking about, the shoes are all beat up after he stomped the shit out of him. He was making
Wow.
making fun of the size of his shoes, but the shoes are beat up now because he stomped the shit out of him in those shoes.
And to
Drake
be
got
honest,
stomped. He had the shit stomped out of him. Those Air Force Ones are all beat up because he stomped the hell out of him.
look, it could mean that too. But I just know Black Air
That's what
Forces
I
mean
got
certain
from it.
things.
That's when
But
I saw the shoes, and when I was reading that article, I thought, no, that's not. He didn't put it on there because of the size of his feet. He put it on there because now you were making fun of the size of my feet, and these little ass feet stomped the shit out of you, and now you got to look at my broke ass shoes, and now I'm done. I ain't got no more beef with you. And to me, the song "Let the Party Die" means I'm moving on.
Yeah,
I'm letting the
and
party
I agree
die.
with
You
that
know what I'm
same
saying?
sentiment
Like
that I'm
I'm
moving
done.
on.
Look, my shoes are all beat up. I'm retiring these shoes. I ain't got to party no more. It is all about me moving on and doing something new. So when I was listening to that song, that's what I was hearing him say. He was talking about how people in the industry be, saying selling out and compromising everybody. Don't care about the people they're listening to. Don't care about their listeners. That ain't me. We should move on from that. From these fake gangsters out here acting like they're gangsters, but they ain't really gangsters. Let's move on from that. And then he talked about these guys who acting hard, talking shit about females. When these females are stronger than they are, I'm moving on from that. So to me, that's what I got from the song. I was like, yeah, I feel this. I like the song because I'm like, yeah, let's move on. Because we already, I see your shoes are all broke up. You stomped the man enough. He done. You ain't got to talk about him no
Yeah.
more. He want be. He wants you to be beefing with him, so he be
Well,
relevant. He
like
ain't
I said
relevant.
though, he's gonna get his, and this don't be the worst thing. He's still gonna, he has to perform, not like us at the Super Bowl, but hopefully that'll be his last little hoorah. Because he remember when he did Kendrick Lamar and Pop Out with Friends, he performed that song like 12 times, and that was a party though. But I
Yeah.
do think Watch the Party Die. He should get back to the music he wants to make again. He was going from his hiatus, or Kathy pulled out of his hiatus. He was said he was doing reflection and therapy and all this shit. So let him come back and make the music he want to make. I've always been a Kendrick fan. I knew who Kendrick was before people even knew who Kendrick was, because when I first
Mm-hmm.
heard him rap, I like that dude can rap. His music is different from the vibe that most people want to hear, though. I fully understand that. It's not on the Drake lane of things, but he tries to give a message, even though sometimes his messages are kind of different from what I would agree with personally. But I get a lot of what he's trying to do and how he's trying to be a motivator more than
When you
a
say he has
inspirator.
messages that you would disagree with, what would those messages be that you would disagree with?
Kendrick is a hotep.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't listen to him like that.
No, yeah, but he's a hotep, so that's the
Oh
part of
yeah,
it
then
I
he's
don't
one
agree
of
with.
those dudes. Yeah, he's one of those guys. He's like one of those foundational black dudes. I don't have time for that bullshit.
So very, very different. So some of that stuff I don't deal with, but other than that, no, him as a rap artist, music good and everything. What's on time? I haven't even had checked the time on it. Didn't get
we're over an hour.
We're over an hour. Oh,
Yeah, we're at an hour.
okay, we can finish off this one real quick because we got 3 minutes and I can make this quick and fast. So, interesting thing, I always try to throw some little science shit in there that I found kind of interesting. So, if y'all don't know, the USA just got bigger. We're a bigger country now. We added over 1 million square kilometers to our territory because we successfully claimed an additional 1 million square kilometers of seabed territory by submitting scientific evidence of the Commission of the Limits of Continental Shelf in accordance with the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. The claim grants the U.S. the right to explore and potentially exploit, and I love the fact that this article that I read said exploit resources, oil, gas, and minerals within the expanded territory. So all that really happened was they
We
did some
got a lot of
science.
stuff we got a lot of land that's underwater.
Yes. So they did some science. They proved that, hey, our continental shelf still extends out here. So we can claim this as the continental shelf that belongs to the United States. And then, therefore, we got more land. So then, therefore, we can go and still do exploitation of the Earth's natural resources, get gas, oils, and other minerals. And then eventually, that continental shelf is going to conflict with somebody else's continental shelf. And then we're going to have some type of other conflict that humans always want to have. So I will end that with that. D, you got any comments?
Yeah, man. I want my piece of the of Atlantis.
You want your piece of Atlantis,
I want
the
my piece of
undersea world?
Atlantis. I want my
Okay,
piece of Atlantis.
I dig that. So without further ado, you want to say anything when quick closing?
Nah, thanks for coming through. It's good to see you, Strain Strain. Thanks for coming in and commenting. We appreciate your participation. And maybe Frida next year will be the pop artist that we were talking about being this year. With that said, Kenny, take us out.
Yeah, so shout out to anybody that watched over on Facebook, anybody that watched over on Kick, anybody that watched over on Twitch, and as usual, anybody that watched here on YouTube. YouTube is our home base. We're trying to rebuild our channel. This is Dianoia stirring it up. This is our more pop culture, current events channel, less politics stuff. Our more politic heavy stuff is on Dianoia is live. Both of our shows they air at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, 9:30 Pacific Time. The pop culture show is on our Fridays, and our politics show is on our Tuesdays. If we have any changes to our Tuesday show in case they do another debate, we'll let y'all know. But other than that, this is Kenny with Dianoia.
This is Darrell. We'll catch you
We
guys on
out.
the next one. Peace.
Peace.